right, he's back, and you know what? So it's Thursday night football. Although it's not the greatest matchup, it's A-Train's Bears. Oh my God! How are we gonna handle this?
I don't know. Props. I'm betting props tonight.
Yeah, your quarterback doesn't even want to play for your team. I mean, it's bad. All right.
Yep.
Last minute betting. Your quick fix for sports betting. Brought to you by and powered by OddsJam, the premier odds comparison company in the universe. That's right. They are doing this on Pluto. I'm telling you right now. Pluto's got, Pluto TV. Anyway, don't forget about the Bob 300, Mike 300. 300 for 300 PointsBet. New users, go there right now. And don't forget, if you would like a month free of the Fantasy Optimizer, email me, bob@oddsjam.com. I'll tell you how to do it, and also the OddsJam Partner Program. Links below. You know what? Mike is late. I don't know where he's at. So A-Train and I are going to do it. Justin is here. And, look who's getting ready to show up. My goodness.
Okay, I'm not going to lie. Listen, this was an intentional show up late day. And the reason why is because we all remember what went down last Thursday. I know A-Train does.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. And I know Bob's not talked about it much since the Monday. I see you grinning. You've been waiting for this show
what are you talking about?
to cut loose. I know what you're up to, man.
I don't know what you're up to.
You know exactly what I'm talking about. There was a lot of words that were exchanged last Thursday before the game. There was a side bet. You obviously won and took advantage of that. And now I got to face the music again because I can just see it in your eyes. You're loving this. You've got something to say. The floor is yours.
I got nothing to say. I'm used to this.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Oh,
I mean, we knew it was going to be something. I mean, he wasn't just going to be quiet.
I don't have a lot to say about it. Really. We've got, you know what?
Your silence is very,
silence is deadly.
Deadly. Yes.
And golden. A-Train's Bears are playing tonight, Mike.
They are. I
know. What a dud game this is, huh?
Look, in a sense, but I've been telling you, the Washington Commanders are a good football team, man. Let's not act like they're garbage. I get they're matched up with the Bears tonight, but I think the Commanders are a decent football team. They're 2-2.
There's two teams playing, okay?
I realize that.
You can't get a football game out of one. It's not a competition with just one team. So one good team and one bad team makes for a crappy football game, probably. What, A-Train, what in the hell is wrong with the Bears? What is wrong with Justin Fields? Was he another big mistake like Trubisky? I mean, what is this organization doing with quarterbacks?
I mean, there's two schools of thought here, right? On one hand, you could say, he just isn't the person that we thought he was. That's one school of thought. The other is that Chicago is where all good quarterbacks come to be destroyed. And because we've taken people who had some success elsewhere and came to Chicago and then their whole career fell apart. I mean, this is quite a pattern. And so it's hard to say that Justin Fields is broken. He just may never had a chance, because the Kasky quarterback grinder machine that are the Bears for the last couple decades. I just don't know that any quarterback can be successful here. And I don't know.
Bring back Bobby Douglas.
Yeah, so much for Chase Claypool, bro. Mike,
do you know Bobby Douglas was? You have no idea. Bobby Douglas.
If you're going to start talking about stuff from 1955 or something, bro, I don't know anything about that, man.
He was a He was a left-handed quarterback who played for the Bears, who basically could run. He couldn't do anything else, but he could run. As a matter of fact, he had the NFL record for rushing yards for a quarterback at one time. And it was back in the 70s, all right? I didn't know whether you did. Thoughts on Brian Robertson over 63.5 rushing yards? I got 2 units on it. Yeah,
let's roll. Like Brian Robinson going off tonight, man.
Yeah.
How many
he's
touchdowns?
Going off. He's doing his thing tonight.
Multiple TDs?
Yeah, I'd say.
Probably at least one. I would definitely bet on one.
Well, it's been there's been several multiple TD. Guys are going off. Diggs and Montgomery. Who else had McCaffrey? Multiple TDs. We've had some games.
Here's the thing, Bob. Here's the thing. Sam Howell has been balling lately, so I feel like he's going to have some moments tonight too. Maybe Scary Terry McLaurin. Maybe he's getting in the end zone. So I would say Robinson and McLaurin are pretty solid anytime touchdown scorers. Here's the question: does anybody have anything on the Bears tonight for anytime touchdown score? Anybody?
Okay, you're barking right up the right tree here, Mike.
I like the bark.
McLaurin, yeah, that's what I've heard. McLaurin and Robinson are 2 of my anytime touchdown scorers. I have to pick one from each team. Fields is my other one. He can run. Yeah. I just don't understand why the Bears picked him to be their starting quarterback when all he can do is run. Yeah. He's really not a good passer.
What other options did you have?
I don't know
you felt you had something in Justin Fields, right? So you had to stick with him at least for this season. And now the problem is who's going to want to take the chance on Justin Fields now when he's proven that, he's even worse off than he was last year. He can run. That's it. He can't throw. It's, simple as that.
DJ Moore over 4 receptions. Anybody on that?
I could roll with it, I guess. I'm not sure how heavy I would be on it, but it's probably pretty solid.
So would you guys go with an SGP of Robinson to score a touchdown and McLaurin to score a touchdown and the Redskins on the money line and put a $50 free bet on it? Would you do that?
Say that again.
Robinson and McLaurin touchdowns.
Yeah.
Redskins money line.
Why are you saying that? You know what their team name is. It's the Bob.
Oh, I did it again, didn't I? God.
How are you calling them the team?
I didn't even notice, to be fair. I didn't even notice.
I caught it, man.
Whatever. Yeah, you got
we're getting kicked off YouTube. Way to go, Bob. We're getting banned. Wow, dude.
All right. Justin says, by the way, Justin's on the show tomorrow night. He can throw. They aren't scheming him correctly. Okay, whatever. Mitchell Trubisky could throw too, but you know what? The Bears don't know anything about quarterbacks. Okay. They won a Super Bowl with Jim McMahon, Jim McMahon was never a great quarterback. He was just one tough son of a gun. And now he's paying the price because he can't even hardly talk because of all the head injuries,
Yeah.
My favorite Bear play, though, I'd go with Mooney over 2.5 receptions too, but that's risky. Okay.
Bob, I want to go back to the Commanders money line, though, is that I feel like if I'm going to bet the Commanders, I'm going to take them at -5.5 if I can get it, because that's such a key number. If there's -6s out there, there's -5s, 5.5s out there. I feel like if the the Commanders are going to win.
We're done, guys.
If the Commanders are going to win, they're going to clear that spread. Otherwise, there is a small chance that you get that dead cat bounce with the Bears, and that this is the game they come out and play because they're so embarrassed by the last few weeks. Like they're going to come out and they're going to do that. So it's like, I don't want to bet the middle there. I don't want to take the Redskins money. Damn it, the Commanders money line. I'm going to do now. I've got the yips, right? Now it's over.
Yeah,
but,
now we're done. Now we're done now.
You're looking
but that's my point. So yeah,
you're looking like Justin Thomas at the Ryder Cup. That was a little golf joke. Well, I'm just looking at it as an SGP. Okay. So, you could put together a same game parlay. I mean, I could just go with McLaurin. I could just go with my anytime touchdown scores. But, when you throw that, even though it's like at minus 275 right now, but when you throw it into an SGP, it does make a difference.
I would just throw it in. I would do this. I would do the SGP with the spread. I mean, if you're going to go in, go in.
Exactly. I'm with Atran on that.
AZ no bats says it.
I mean, look, I'm in no place to. I don't know how to handle that debate, guys. I don't know where to go with that.
A buddy of mine had a great idea. They should have changed their logo to a potato, a red potato.
Okay, and why is that?
Red, well, you peel the skin off of a red potato. It's a red skin.
Oh,
potato. Yeah. I mean,
okay.
They could have kept the name that way. It would have been a weird looking helmet. And how do you cheer that?
Yeah.
I mean,
the potatoes. I don't know how you cheer on a potato. I mean, if my team was called the Potatoes, dude, they would have been at home. Listen, I'd rather not even watch them. I'd rather just.
They would have been still the Redskins, but it would have been a Redskin potato. Okay,
you said it again.
I know. Well, it's a Redskin potato. I said. Not betting the spread tonight. Would you guys lean the Commanders or the Bears? I'm gonna lean the Commanders. I'm sorry, A-Train. That felt to me like that was a little Homer speech there.
I'm all for the Commanders minus 5.5. That's what I'm betting on. That's for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I really don't think the Bears are coming out and doing anything. There's too much stuff going on. And the Chase Claypool thing, he's not even with the team. What the heck?
No,
man?
he's gone. Yeah.
But what the hell happened? They're not using him, according to him.
Listen, A-Train doesn't know this. Our boy Justin, Justin, always coming in the stream. He told us a story yesterday about him playing rugby against Chase Claypool.
Oh, that's right.
And evidently our boy Justin here, my freaking dude, Justin absolutely was getting into him, man. Like had him all messed up, man. Justin was just absolutely just getting in his head, man. Getting in his head. Right. That was a cool story. Oh, and by the way, right. Justin's coming on the show tomorrow, right, Bob?
Nice.
Right. I've said that 3 times.
Oh. Sorry.
He never listens to me, man. He never does. All right. Well, the thing is that when you're going through positive EV today, it's been crazy trying to find plays today. Okay. Not a lot out there because of what is happening. But one thing that came across, and I think this is really, really interesting, and I'm going to share my screen, and I want to talk to the two of you about this, and it's on the Fantasy Optimizer, and it's the first time I've seen this many plays like this.
Oh, wow.
They are now doing combos with touchdowns. Now, these I like. Connor and Ertz in the Bengals-Cardinals game. All I got to do is score a touchdown. One of them scores a touchdown. You got it. Have you seen these today, A-Train?
I haven't been on this page today, so this is all new to me. This is interesting.
Yes. Here is another combo. Dotson and Herbert in tonight's game, or Moore and Herbert in tonight's game. Curtis Samuel and McLaurin. Just one of them has to get a touchdown. Look at this one, guys. Now, this is an interesting one. Cowboys, Niners, McCaffrey, and Pollard over 1.5.
Over 1.5 touchdowns?
Yes.
I mean,
between the two of them.
Why not?
Let's see. Waller and Waddle for this weekend, just to get a touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
I think some pretty interesting plays here. Warren and Lamar Jackson, just to get a touchdown. And here's a great one. You want one that's a sure bet? Dak Prescott to throw an interception.
Man.
Well, I mean, but I think that's an interesting play. These combos, I've really been having trouble getting used to on the optimizer.
I like them, man.
I all of a sudden saw.
I like the touchdown ones. I like the touchdown ones.
I like those. Popped up recently. Yeah. What do you think, A-Train?
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting, and it's. I'm curious when I think through, like, how is OddsJam algorithm figuring this out? Because this is not a commonly offered line, and so they've got to be extrapolating from both of the individual lines and then combining it and saying, hey, we're getting value on this side or another, because it's more complicated. So you would imagine that there's going to be some strong edges there. So it makes sense. So it's a pretty cool thing because it's going to be tied into Prize Picks or whomever's offering these particular kinds of combo lines. I think it's an interesting elevation because that complexity, if we have data and math behind it, helping us know how to navigate it, we're going to have an extra advantage over singleton players because people who aren't using data will have no real chance to internalize that in their head to know off the cuff, should I play this or shouldn't I? Using data is the only real way to navigate that kind of situation. You have to use a top-down strategy and base it on data versus the bottoms-up sports knowledge.
And it looks like right here, as I share my screen again, it looks like Fliff must be the only other book that, because you're not going to see this in Dragons and FanDuel and what have you. So you can kind of get some sort of idea of what kind of value you may be getting. Of course, you got to remember when you're dealing with a Prize Picks or Underdog, the DFS platforms, it's fixed odds. But yeah, nobody has that.
Yeah.
Okay.
But look at scroll back up for a second, Bob, because there was something there that just caught my eye. See that minus 106 on Fliff?
Yes.
Look at that compared to your minus 119 on Prize Picks. So if you wanted to just go play a standalone combo or put it into a parlay at Fliff, that's a huge play. Think about all the value you're getting on top of Prize Picks, which is already bringing it into this list.
Yeah, that's huge. A good point. That's a good point.
Yeah. Very good point. Very good point.
Yeah.
And then you got it minus 107 here. This one's minus 124, so that's pretty close. We got a minus 110. They're all, for the most part, you could go to Fliff and have yourself a ball.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I wanted to point that out. I thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah, that is very cool.
Some new stuff that you just run across on a daily basis, folks. Fantasy Optimizer. Mike can get it to you free for a month. All you got to do is email him, and he'll take you through. It's pretty simple. You don't have to do a whole lot, and you're actually, if you do what we tell you to do, you're actually going to come out money ahead. Not only are you going to get the optimizer free for a month, but whatever we tell you to deposit in, you're going to get a $100 deposit match. Why would you not do that, Mike?
Always hooking it up, aren't you, Bob? Always hooking it up.
Hell yeah, that's my job, isn't it?
I think that's part of your job. So give us a Monday night football, or I'm sorry, Thursday night football bet that you're on tonight. I mean, we're not doing a parlay, but give something out that you're on tonight, Bob. What do you like?
Well, I've already took the Commanders -6.
Okay.
I've got McLaurin and Fields and Robinson as you know what? I take that back, though. I think I made Robinson a first half touchdown score because his odds is at any time pretty well.
They're not going to be good tonight.
No, they're not very good. So I took him in a first half, and you can only get the first half here in Illinois on FanDuel. Nobody else is offering that market. So, and FanDuel is really good about that. There's some really, really good odds. I got him at plus 200 for a first half touchdown score.
That's what's up.
Yeah. So that's kind of what I'm on. Real quick, guys, baseball playoffs. These baseball playoffs have been terrible. I mean, talk about boring games. I mean, they're not even close. Milwaukee's took the lead 2 games in a row and then, blew it. And, I mean, teams are getting blown out. A-Train, are you looking for some more competition in the next round in the division series?
Man, I have just checked out of baseball entirely once football started. I have just not paid any attention whatsoever.
I'm sorry to hear that, because you've got 2 in the NLDS. You've got 2 division rival matchups: Braves and Phillies, Dodgers and Diamondbacks. I think that these could be really good series, although I expect the Braves to kick it into gear and put a little beat down on them in a couple of games. But the Phillies are not a team to.
Bob, we saw it last year when the Phillies themselves, you come out of that wild card and then you are feeling pretty good. Those teams that have the rest kind of, sluggish. We'll see if the same thing kind of happens here. And what's very ironic about that Diamondbacks Brewers series is coming into that thing, Milwaukee had the bullpen advantage. Arizona's bullpen gives up a lot of runs throughout the regular season. Their bullpen gave up a lot of runs. Last night, Zach Gallen did not have a good game. Their ace did not have a good game. Their bullpen came through and got the job done and even stepped up in that first win. And that was not their strength heading into the season and throughout the season. And here all of a sudden playoffs come around. Now the Diamondbacks bullpen get the job done. So crazy.
Okay. You made 5 units yesterday. Yeah. I'm talking about it just, they're boring games. They were not good games. By the way, let's get back to football here for just 1 second. A-Train, the Bills put the Dolphins in their place. There's no way. What do you think that was like not the perfect time to fade Miami? Like, you couldn't get a better time. You score 70 points, you're not, and you're going to Buffalo, you're not winning.
Yeah, especially on the road. Miami has historically struggled on the road, and any kind of mental situation like that, when you've done something kind of historic in the kind of just beating that they won in the previous week. Yeah, I think you're right. I think that is exactly the kind of situation where a team lets up and they can't pull it off. And I think that's exactly right.
Plus, Josh Allen has never lost to Miami in Buffalo. So, do you take any of those trends into consideration when you're looking at a bet? When you're looking, when you're on the positive EV page, you're looking at the data, but do you take, if you've heard something, something, do you take that into consideration?
I generally don't, because I expect that any information that I'm going to have, because I am not very good at gathering or retaining a lot of that information. If I have it, it's already priced in. And so if I act on it, I'm going to not be doing myself any favors. And so for me, I don't think I'm good enough to do that. Now, I know plenty of people who are, but for me, myself, I try to ignore any of my sports knowledge and go purely from the data, because that plays to my strengths, versus I would only get myself into trouble. So for me personally, that's how I would do it. But I've come around, especially actually after being on this show, I've come around to realizing, like, yes, you can outthink the market. You can outthink the public. And there is something to be said that even though all of positive EV betting is based on this underlying efficient market hypothesis, where we're saying, hey, this collection of lines and these sharp books, that's going to teach us the truth and help us understand the true odds of this event occurring on one side or the other. The fact is that Sportsbooks aren't trying to do that. They sometimes take positions intentionally. So to expect the markets to always be efficient is not exactly correct. So we want to think about that and factor that in. I don't think I have the ability as a sports bettor myself to do that, but I do think that with the right tools and the right mentality and the right techniques, you could absolutely do better than just going off pure data in the moment, looking at price shopping type strategies for positive EV. So I definitely think there's something to it. I just know I can't do it.
Yeah, and the combination between the two is definitely something that will, really be beneficial, because anytime you have a mindset when you go on the positive EV page and you see a play that you're already in your mind kind of thinking makes sense from the game perspective, you're like, well, shoot, now I'm just hunting for value on this play. I love the play. Now I'm just going to get the best odds and the best value I can get on it and smash it. So that's the cool thing about combining the two. You could have one or the other. I feel like you need a combination of both, and you can be really, but then again, just using the data itself, truthfully, is going to be enough for you to be profitable for sure. The other stuff is just going to add into that, you know what I'm saying? So it's definitely good to have a little bit of both, but ultimately I'm always going to roll with the data, at the end of the day.
I want to go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, what I was going to say, and because Mike, you helped me think about this, is that from a onboarding new people to the world of OddsJam, I think it's a lot more accessible to folks to say, hey, you've been betting this way for a long time. It's not necessary to throw it all away and start with this entirely different top-down positive EV approach. That's a big sell. That's a big ask for somebody. But if you say, hey, do what you'd otherwise be doing and then add some price shopping and realize that there's real value in that, and that could turn you from a break-even bettor into a solidly profitable bettor, I think that's something that resonates with a lot of folks out there, knowing, hey, I haven't been paying as much attention to prices as I probably should have. I should do more of that. OddsJam's a way I can do that. That's
very good. Very good. I got a question for you. I want to get to this. Saw the picture on Twitter with the guy from Circa, or X, I should say. And Circa is now an online book in Illinois. I have not joined it yet. Can you tell me some things about this? What are the benefits to guys like Mike and I becoming Circa customers? What do you think?
100%. So the one interesting thing is that Circa's been expanding outside of Nevada, and Illinois is actually the first retail location. So where I was yesterday was in Waukegan, where they actually have a counter. Looks just like the counter at the D, in fact, where you could go and place bets at the window. So that's kind of cool. If you're in that area, or you find yourself in that area, you can go and place it at a traditional sports book. And it was a nice place to be. From a online betting, and I signed up like within an hour of when they had gone live, right? And and I can tell you a couple things to note. One, they don't have any sign-up bonuses. They don't have any get 100, refer your friend, none of that stuff. They don't bother with any of that. They don't have a very fancy, flashy interface with tons of promotions or anything like that you would have in a lot of the kind of recreational books like a DraftKings, which is full of that stuff. The flip side, though, and their value proposition is kind of twofold. One is that they have competitive odds, and they are going to be, good pricing, fair pricing, and that's where they're saying you're going to get extra value. And secondly, they will not limit sharp action. They will not limit the big players under any circumstances, winning or not. And they tell you up front what the limits are on all of their plays. And so they're trying to be very transparent. They're trying to be very open about it. They have good lines. We find EV plays there occasionally, but they have high limits for sure. And the one thing to keep in mind is that they don't have a lot of player props or a lot of interesting, strange bets that you might see on some of these other places. You don't have that. So it's a lot of straight line stuff. But if you are needing to do an arbitrage strategy and you need to get a decent, hedge price, this is why you always want to have some sharp books in your wallet effectively, so that you can always know, no matter what, I can at least go place a bet that I need to place at whatever price they're offering, or a competitive price at least. And that gives you outs. That gives you opportunity to be able to hedge whatever you're doing anywhere else. And it's a good thing to have when hey, I've got a line on this play. I want to make this play and I don't want to get limited. a book like Circa is definitely something that you want to have. So being in Illinois, we are in a pretty good spot to have access to books. We have the FanDuels and the DraftKings and the places where you can find a lot of good positive EV plays, but you might get limited, right? But then you also have Caesars, which doesn't limit as much, but is still pretty sharp. And then now you have Circa, which we would definitely consider a sharp book as well. So we have this nice mix, plus all of the other ones like the PointsBets and everything like that, Bet Rivers. There's a lot of different places and a lot of new competitors coming in. It's a fine thing to think about. How do you want to balance it? And I would recommend, when you're starting out, getting something. I always tell people, get something like Fliff, or in this case, like Circa, where you can have a place where you're not going to give up your initial sign-up bonus because they don't have them, but it gives you a place where now when you go to a Barstool or you go to a Bet Rivers and you get that $1,000 bet that you want to hedge, now you have a place to hedge it. So that's really key when you're starting out. Yeah.
And when you're arbing, folks, you got to remember, you always put whatever your bet is. And this will allow people to actually bet a little bit more because of the limiting that has been happening. You put it on the fave and you hedge on the dog. That's really how that works. And that's great news, because you know what, that's going to bring arbitrage even more back into the fold, which I think, people kind of gotten away from a little bit. Because of all the positive EV stuff. And we talk about positive EV every day. So great information. This is why I love having this guy on, man. Even though he's a Bears fan, he's a White Sox fan, though. All right, George Thackeray's here. Is that book legal in Canada?
I don't believe they're in Canada. I don't think they're in Canada.
I don't think so either.
No, definitely not. All right, man. Great job as always. Thank you.
Stuff as always.
Thank you, guys.
You're a hell of a guy, and we're gonna meet in person one of these days.
That's right. Definitely will.
You're gonna buy me a water.
Sounds good.
Oh, Bob, you're not buying the waters? Geez.
No, with some scotch in it.
Whatever's in it.
I will make that happen. I will come see you guys for sure.
Hey, Adam.
Hey, Adam, what's up, bro?
My boy, hello, what's up? What's up, Jordan, Justin? Thanks. Peace.
Bye, guys.